guys, it's Sophia and welcome back. And so I'm kind of starting this thing on my channel where like once a month I post a video that has that talks about a topic that's related to that month, and we basically just like make it creepy and stuff. And that's what today's video is going to be because it's June and that's like the first month of summer. So today's video is going to be like some like creepy like horror stories that revolve around like camping and hiking and stuff like that. And just a disclaimer, I don't know if these stories are actually true. The first story is related to hiking and I found it on YouTube, and the narrator says that it's just allegedly true, so we don't actually know if it's true or not. The second story is related to summer camps and it's a creepypasta, and I've read different versions of the story and this is the version that I'm going to be narrating. That will be the second story. So again, I don't know if these stories are true or not, and I'm not personally saying that they're true. So this video is just mostly for entertainment, and yeah. So I'm pretty sure we all have the fear of being outside alone, especially at night. It's a very scary thought, and that's why today we're going to be saying 2 horror stories about being outside alone or simply after dark. The first one is a hiking horror story I found on YouTube. It's about a man who goes hiking in a local forest, and for some reason he hears a baby crying somewhere. So he starts following the sounds of the crying, and suddenly a tall old woman runs up to him and asks him if he's seen her baby, and he mentions that he's been hearing this baby crying. So she starts following him to where he's walking to where the baby is crying. And this man keeps checking behind him to see if the old woman is still there, and she's still there every time. She's right behind him every time he turns around, except for one time. One time he turned around and she wasn't there, and this is very strange because he had been seeing her right behind him this whole time, and all of a sudden he turned around and she wasn't there, and he had no idea why. But since he still heard the sound of the baby crying, he still went there because maybe she had to stop and go do something and she would be behind him again. So he kept following the sounds of the baby crying, and at some point he came upon this river. And across the river was the same woman, and she was standing completely still, and she had a blank expression on her face, and she was staring directly at him. This was very scary to him, so he ran all the way out of the forest and he ran all the way back home. Luckily, he didn't get followed back home, and no one broke into his house. But it is a pretty disturbing story because, like, how did she go from behind him to basically up ahead of him at this river place? So this is a pretty creepy story. Alright, so the next story is a summer camp creepypasta called Why I Don't Go to Camp Anymore. And again, this is a creepypasta, so most creepypastas are mostly just fake stories that are basically made for entertainment, such as Slenderman and Jeff the Killer. And secondly, I have read different versions of this creepypasta, and I don't know if you guys have read the same version that I'm about to say, so yeah, just bear with me. So, Why I Don't Go to Camp Anymore is a creepypasta story about a boy who goes to summer camp. Everything seems normal on the first day. Camp counselor just seems sad without specific reasoning. But as usual, all the kids do all the obstacle courses and all the fun stuff on the first day, and it's completely normal and no one really thinks anything at first. The next day, though, is a day of very heavy rain. It's very rainy that day, and the counselor doesn't seem to show up at all. So all the kids in the cabin are all talking about what they think is going on, where the counselor is, what they're gonna do that day, etc. And it's a pretty creepy event for all of them. And suddenly, a few of the older kids come up to them and tell them that there's a legend. So in the early 1900s, when this summer camp called Camp Rockwater was first established, its cabins were in a different place. It was closer to a river, and near that river was a chapel. And one unfortunate day, one of the boys of the camp went missing, and after a few days his body was found in the chapel. Since that day, there's been a legend that the boy's spirit haunts this chapel, and anyone who goes there will see his face through the window. And the kids start freaking out over this story because it's very creepy and stuff like that. So they later realize that the counselor's not coming back. It's raining so hard. There's basically a ghost in a chapel nearby. What are they gonna do? So they decide that they have to go out into the rain and they have to find the counselor because they can't go a day without not doing anything at camp. So some of the kids go outside of their cabins and they split into groups and they go in different directions. And at some point, this boy and a group of other boys, and their names are Nathan, Kyle, and Jacob, they all go over to the chapel because they wanted to see the spirit. And they also wanted to find the counselor, of course. And at some point, they see the face of the boy that went missing through the window of the chapel. One of the boys throws up and the other three start running. The boy that threw up never caught up to them and they never saw him after that. They keep running like the wind away from the chapel until they find themselves at this ravine. And then they see the body of the boy that threw up, and he was at the bottom of the ravine. Boys knew that they had to go down the ravine to keep running because they didn't have much of a choice. So the three boys go to the bottom of the ravine somehow, and they start running away. One of them goes missing, and the other two keep hearing the sound of a boy that they don't know saying, "Come and play with me, come and play with me." And it's very creepy. And they keep running, and at some point they escape. The camp is basically canceled for the rest of the summer. One of them ended up going to like a mental hospital or something, and the other is just one that's left to tell the story. So that's basically the two horror stories I'd have to say that revolve around hiking and camping and all that creepy stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, this is just something new that I'm trying. So thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!